That's a good thing to have in your hip pocket, because the work for actors, as we all know, it comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. So you got to have that steady thing, especially when you got kids. You got to be able to go out there and make a buck.
How many kids you got?
2.
2 kids, and you're walking around the Emmys with a breast pump.
That's right.
I think that's bad. I think you should have been drinking and smoking with them. Oh, you said you were.
I was.
That's pretty cool. The breast pump is like a Nazi torture device. You hear it in the other room.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and she's just sitting there with a look on her face like... And that's something you don't really want to see.
She feels like a cyborg, too.
Yeah, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see that thing pulling on your wife's teats.
All that whole child experience thing with the
you could be in the room with me and watch him come out. No, I'll be by your head massaging your temples.
Because I still need to. It's just like I never want to see my wife fart or take a dump or anything. It just kills all the. It's just a boner killer. So I don't do that.
You weren't in the delivery room?
I was, but I was up by her head.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
I was up by her head, holding her hand, just looking at her, going, "You're the best. You're the toughest. You're the number
and
one."
She is.
You're the king of New York. You're number one.
Yeah.
I was going to escape from New York. Remember the Duke of New York?
Yeah.
You're number one. You're the king of New York.
He's the king of New York.
It was the president. He used to remember when the Duke would shoot at the president because the president had crashed in Manhattan, and he made the president say, "You're number one. You're the Duke of New York."
And then they remade it into Escape from L.A., which was way better.
Better than New York.
It's trolling.
That's bold. That's bold statement.
Trolling. You got gigs coming up soon? Anything, like in August, for example?
I'll be totally honest with you, and I haven't told many people this, but I canceled a lot of my gigs for the remainder of the year.
Are they going to come out of the closet?
No.
I was really a letdown. I'm going to be totally honest with you, JJ. I'm homosexual.
I had a lot of gigs lined up through the fall, and the first half of this year has been so work intense and stuff that I haven't seen my family or kids or wife and haven't spent any time with them. So I just had to go home. I have to be home. I need to spend time with my family. So I had to push off a lot of gigs. I was doing a bunch of television stuff.
I saw you on Wilfred last week.
Yeah, there was a couple things on Wilfred. The Wilfred thing was such a small thing, though. It was really small. Like, I'd show up and they'd be like, "All right, here are your 4 lines for the day."
On a boat.
Yeah, just like I'd be
Catalina
like, "Okay."
wine mixer.
I mean, everybody there was super nice, but just little things like that, and NTSF, SD, SUV on Adult Swim. I did a bunch of stuff for them this year. I went over to London, shot something for the BBC. And then I had to go out and promote the Lorax and 21 Jump Street. I just felt like I was gone for that.
All right, we got to talk about 21 Jump Street because I auditioned for that coach.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you did?
And I went hard.
Yeah?
I went in with the short shorts. And I had a total guy in my mind that I created.
Yeah.
And he was like completely sexually ambiguous, like you weren't sure if I was hitting on them.
I kind of played a little bit of that game in my audition, too.
I saw that on the screen, and I went, well, hold on a second.
Because I went in there.
Like, wow, those are nice. There's a lot of stuff you said that wasn't written.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in there. When I went in, when I saw Channing and I saw Jonah.
God damn, he's gorgeous. I'm not kidding at all.
Yeah, he's something.
And ridiculously funny.
And a good dude. Like, you just want to hang out with him.
In the movie.
You want to hang out with him. He's just a good dude in general. But part of the script, the way it was written was, there is stuff in there that alludes to.
Hey, what a body on this guy.
What a body on this guy. So I just heightened it. I'm sure that's what you did. I just heightened it and was like, okay, I'm going to come on to this kid, but not overtly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make real subtle passes at him.
My big decision.
That's what I did. I made subtle passes at him.
My big decision in the audition, like when I worked, like I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
So, like one of those roles, like Anchorman that went to, like when Keckner gets it, you go, well, of course, good.
Yeah.
They made the right decision.
Totally.
And this coach, when they got you, I go, well, just fucking tell me you're going to get Riggle. Like, cause it's obviously Riggle's gig. Like it was written, like it's such a Rob Riggle part. And my guy, like the big thing I came up with, like anytime I was talking to him, I'm like, hey, I had the shorts on and I always had my leg up.
So you have one ball just maybe showing?
It was just could have been.
Just right there.
But just a guy that anytime he had to talk to other guys had to have a leg up on like a chair or a table, like, hey, let me
just open yourself up to him.
Yeah, just always like an giant open vag in their face.
Yeah.
And then you, it was a weird.
Well, what I also did in my audition too was I played the the sex thing with Channing, where I was turned on by him and like kind of aroused by him, and I would play that, but I wouldn't hit it over the head. It was just real, drive-by type stuff. So I couldn't, if the cops were listening, I couldn't be pinned down.
Right.
But then I went hard on Jonah. Like I was like, just shut up, you fat piece. I would just go after him, after his character,
which fed the other one.
Yeah, because then I had nothing but love for him and hatred for what was his name, Doug, I think in the movie. Yeah,
I never saw it.
Yeah.
No, and then they did. It was a really hard scene. I don't know if you had this thing, but like when you're reading the sides and stuff, it's like kapow, stage 2. So like if you don't have the script first and you just have sides, it says like stage 2, full melt, and you're like, I don't know like what that means or anything, but if they were breaking down the stages of tripping your balls off, tripping balls, giggles, and you're like, all right, and then there's something about eyebrows going all over my face, and I go, like, am I tripping? They tripping? And then when I got the script, it all made sense, and then when I watched it up on the screen, it really was such a funny movie, and I was super happy for you. Thanks. And then I was also like, oh my God, like Channing Tatum is a new, like we got a funny guy.
Yeah.
It's like when Justin Timberlake makes the rounds, you go, oh my God, there's another funny guy.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to keep recycling not so funny guys. There's brand new funny guys.
Yeah.
So,
and that'll really get it.
Yeah, he gets it.
He gets it.
And that was a very funny movie.
I think Justin Timberlake gets it, just like you said. I think JT gets it. And
you know who gets it? Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Gets it.
Yeah.
He's freaking funny.
Big time. I met him at the Lorax thing, and he totally gets it. Like he's. You're right. They're out there. I did a lot this year. Second half of the year, I'm not.
You canceled your dates?
Yeah.
So you're not going to promote anything? You want to promote it? J. Mohr Brea Improv, August 26th. It's a Sunday.
Nice.
Come on out. I'm there the weekend, but 26th is where I get the door. So
they love you there too.
Yeah, Orange County's been very nice to me.
They love you there.
I love it down there. And you were down in Irvine.
Yeah, I did Irvine.
It's just so much fun. Dan Godfrey, great. He runs a great room.
Yep.
People are like, we want our money back.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I just did in June, though, I did Up Comedy Club in Chicago, which is right above the Second City. Mm-hmm. It's built into there now. It's like a 285-seater. It's a nice club. They do a nice job up there. And I played Zanies, which is just around the corner in Chicago.
But is that Improv that's in like the suburbs?
Yeah, out on that strip mall.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah, I've done it. It's like Vernon Hills or something. I've been out there.
The Palace. At Auburn Hills in Detroit.
Yeah, they had a couple.
I want to come back to the All-Star game that you weren't at because you're hosting the ESPYs. I want to come back to the ESPYs.
Okay.
But we got to go back to Kosovo.
Oh.
We're in Liberia. The job was there's a civil war, protect the embassy.
Got it.
And you were given instructions, if you're shot at, shoot back. Because I know guys that were in Beirut and they were like, if you're shot at, don't shoot back.
No, that went away because they had that policy. They had to clarify the rules of engagement. We're not targets. We're not sent places to be targets for anyone. If you take fire, you can return fire. There is a certain amount of proportionality, meaning if you're taking small arms fire, we don't go in and drop napalm and 500-pound Mark 8, bombs, and we don't do all this stuff.
Israel got into a lot of trouble. It was about 6 years ago, like when I think the Palestinians kidnapped
a soldier.
2.
Was it 2?
Yeah, and just for everyone listening, I have no opinion on this situation whatsoever. I'm just regurgitating facts that I think are correct. My politics are my politics. Leave me alone. And then Israel just went batshit and just flattened fucking street after street after street and raised houses and gas, electric, and everyone was like, I think the global community, which I think might be completely anti-Semitic as a Catholic, look on the outside looking in, I go, how about a fucking hand over here? That was a disproportionate response, to which I said, but they fucking dug a 400-yard tunnel to pull guys off their watch and kidnap they've been handcuffed their whole lives. I'm all for complete disproportionate
response?
Yeah, like when they've done it, to Egypt and shit, and with the 6 Day War, anytime Israel has been told, basically it's the U.S. going, no, don't fuck this up. It's too delicate an ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know this.
Oh, yeah.
And then George W. was the guy to go, we stand with Israel. They're our friends. Yeah. And we're going to let them defend themselves. And he was the first guy to tell Israel, fucking have at it. I'm sick of this shit. I got fucking 2 towers on my back, and they're kidnapping. They're digging holes to steal your guys. Do your thing, and boy, did they.
Well, to go back to your point,
Take a commercial break. We'll be right back with Rob Riggle. This is Politics Today. This is Middle East news on fucking what a jerk. I just
it was proportionality, which is you don't have to go anywhere. You have the inherent right of self-defense. If someone shoots at you, you can shoot back. So that Beirut thing, that's done. But what happened over in Liberia is if anybody pulled a weapon on us or shot at us or had the deadly intent, they drew their weapon, put it in their shoulder, and sighted in on us. We don't have to sit there and be sighted in and wait till they actually pull the trigger.
But how is it proportionality when there's guys like in Kabul that are shooting? And if you call in any airstrike, there goes proportionality.
Well, it depends on the size of the force. It depends on the size of the threat.
You can go on YouTube and type in war porn. You just see like 3 guys in a field getting like a bomb dropped on them from a Apache.
It depends on what's going on around. There's always context to every battle.
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, but there's always context.
I'm pro disproportionality.
Yeah, there's always context that a lot of people don't get.
And you're taught that context in the Marine Corps?
I mean, you're taught the rules of engagement for every theater, and every theater is unique. So there might be things where there might be different rules of engagement. You never know. You never know what environment. Are you working in the field or are you working in an urban environment? That can have an effect on the rules of engagement.
Like the Apollo?
Well, I had friends, not friends, but I worked with some guys in Northern Ireland who, they had interesting rules of engagement back in the 70s and 80s.
During the Troubles?
During the Troubles.
Interesting how?
Again, it goes back to the potential for collateral damage, the potential for, bullets, especially coming out of a high-powered rifle is going to go through walls. It's going to do a lot of things.
And you're being shot at by a guy in blue jeans and a shirt and like a Ramones t-shirt.
Or mailboxes are blowing up or who knows what. There's all
no
kinds
uniforms.
Of things.
How hard is it? You've been out there. Is there like obviously there is a difference, but how strange is it when your mission involves people that are just dressed as the bad guys are dressed as civilians?
Well, when I first got to Afghanistan, I got to Afghanistan at the end of November 2001. So we hadn't even taken the southern part of the country. We were up in the north, up in Mazar-e-Sharif, working out with the
Casbah,
working with the Northern Alliance. And I remember when I first got there, I asked the Special Forces guys. I said, "Now, is there anything I should be looking for? How can we tell, Taliban or anybody from the Northern Alliance?" And they just they shrugged their shoulders and said, "Well, the Taliban used to grow their beards long, so you can look at that, but most of them have cut them off now. If they wear all black, that's a good sign that they're probably Taliban, but they've all taken that off now because they just changed sides. They just were like, I'm cutting my beard and I'm putting on a new
now
outfit."
The only guys wearing black with beards are the Delta Ops on our side, right?
But so you never knew. And I remember being in Mazar-e-Sharif as part of a convoy, and we had bought a lot of vehicles on the population, meaning we didn't have our vehicles. We didn't have Humvees and Deuce and a Halfs and all that kind of stuff. So we went out and bought these gypsy vans and gypsy trucks and these broken down old things from the Soviet Union from 1950s, and because we needed trucks to move some things, and we were moving through town, and these trucks would break down, and so as they broke down, you leave them. We were just dump it, getting everybody out of that truck and into the next one. Don't stay put. We're moving. We're moving.
Beverly Hillbillies. You just keep putting more stuff, and then you're just down to one rickety car.
Exactly. And but I remember we were stopped at one breakdown, and we were trying to decide if we could fix it quickly or not. But as we sat there, people just kept coming towards the trucks and surrounding us. And I remember looking out the window of my vehicle and thinking this guy he was looking at us with hatred, and I just felt like he was up to no good. And he had his hands in his robe, so I couldn't see him. So he got me nervous enough that I pulled out my 9mm and I put it up against the door right underneath the window so he couldn't see it. And I was because I expected him to do something. I didn't know what, but I thought he was going to pull out a grenade or roll a grenade under the vehicle, or maybe pull out a gun and just start spraying. And so I put my 9mm right up against the door, and I just never took my eye off him. And he would look at me, and we were just staring each other down. He couldn't see my pistol. And then for whatever reason, I took out my camera, and I started taking pictures of him, and he didn't like that, and he took off. So that's how I got rid of him. I just took pictures of him, and he did not like it.
He was in all fairness, he's a huge reality star, and he thought you were paparazzi in Afghanistan.